it up now.
Which fell after a 6-week siege. But the city surrendered to the Byzantine forces, cheating the Crusaders, as they saw it, of their rightful plunder. It was a further strain on the delicate relations between Crusaders and Byzantines. They began marching inland through intense summer heat in 2 columns. A vanguard under Bohemond of Taranto,
2 columns,
and
2 pillars,
under Godfrey of Bouillon.
The Masonic hoaxing.
Near Dorylaeum, Bohemond's vanguard was ambushed by the main Turkish army. Based on Crusader chronicles, this is our best understanding of how the confused fighting unfolded. Seeing he was about to be attacked by a large force of enemy cavalry, sent an urgent message to the rearguard, asking for assistance.
Notice there's 7 there.
Then he formed up his knights and ordered his infantry into a defensive formation behind them, protecting the camp followers. The Crusaders came under attack from all sides, facing a hail of arrows from Turkish horse archers, as well as javelins and hit-and-run strikes from their faster light cavalry.
They can't wait to get next to each other so they can kill each other,
to
right?
their own infantry. Over several hours,
see, war hoaxing goes all the way back.
The Crusader line held. Meanwhile, Godfrey was racing up with the rearguard to join the battle. Troops were fed into the fighting as soon as they arrived. On the Turks' left flank, the Crusader advance was hidden by the terrain, so that they appeared suddenly, threatening the Turks with encirclement. When the Christian knights all charged together, the Turks panicked, turned, and fled. It was a major victory for the Crusaders, and allowed them to continue their advance across Anatolia without serious opposition. At Heraclea, they defeated a small Turkish force, then split up. The main force struggled through the mountains of Cappadocia, losing many of their baggage animals and running dangerously low on supplies.
Well, I think you can see it's just all nonsense. And it was created so that there would be an enemy, and that so both sides would despise one another because of the Crusades. And I remember in my own life trying to recall what you would call Christian history and say there's a great blotch on Christian history because of the Crusades. Now I know the blotch isn't there because it was all a bunch of lies. It was a bunch of lies to create hostility in the world, to create hostility, to get those who follow in the religion of Islam mad at the Christians, and to get the Christians mad at those who follow in the religion of Islam. Now, I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, that He's the only way, truth, and life. But Jesus taught us that hatred is not what we are about. And all the history of Crusades points to one thing: hatred, the creation of hatred. And that's what they were designed to do in the hoax lie system. They didn't happen at all, okay? They happened on paper, but that's it. They were just a real projection, R-E-E-L, of their time. But now you know that indeed the whole period of time from about 500 AD to 1500 AD, was just all a bunch of nonsense. So does that mean that we should subtract 1,000 years on the current date? Yeah, I think so. I think so, because it really never existed. And it was taught to people in books, and castles were created in Europe so that you could see a castle and say, oh, that takes us back to the medieval times. Oh, that takes us back to the Crusades. No, you just saw some efforts of the Masons who created just another Masonic play called the Crusades. And those castles trigger these things. And people will say, well, I can go to Europe and see the remnants of castles. Well, you're just looking at the remnants of people who created amusement parks. I'd like to thank you for watching my attempt to take on the Crusades. And I do believe Jesus Christ is the only way, the only truth, and the only life. Thank you for watching.